From VTV Channel 6 Studios in downtown Vernal, this is Local Point with your host, Chris Piner.
Welcome to Local Point, brought to you by Strata Networks. I'm your host, Chris Piner. On today's show, we welcome to the studio Bob Peterson and Dave Woolstenhulme from Uintah Basin Applied Technology College. And it's good to have you both here.
Thanks, Chris. We're glad to be here.
Yeah, thank you for both coming. Now, you both have been on in one form or another. You're no stranger to the cameras here in the studio, so it's nice to have familiar faces.
I'm a bit more of a stranger than Bob.
It's nice to be on this end of things.
Is it nice to be on that end of things? Well, I wanted to talk to you both just a little bit about your positions at UBATC, and Dave, maybe we can start with you.
Sure. You've probably seen us on here before from Utah State University.
That's right.
We just moved across the street now, about a year and a half ago. I've become the president of the Uintah Basin Applied Technology College, and shortly after that, I knew where there was a good man to be had, and we had a Vice President of Student Services position open, and I knew Bob would fill that role very well, so we recruited him very heavily, and we're glad to have him with us.
That's great. So great experience from where you were before, and now moving on to different fields. Well, what a good duo you both make.
I came on board with USU about 12 years ago, and Dave was a big reason. I mean, he was who I followed at USU, and so literally followed him in the positions he's had. I was kind of underneath him, and I thought, you know, if I'm going to make a move, you know, I'd like being with Dave, and so he's a big reason why I made the move. We're both Aggies through and through, and it's really been beneficial for both campuses to have, I think, us in our positions now because we have such a good working relationship.
That's right.
And knowledge with USU and Dr. Edwards, so it's a good fit for the community.
Now here are you still divided, or is there a half and half? There's a campus also in Roosevelt.
Yeah, we have two campuses, a full campus in Roosevelt and a full campus here in Vernal. And I just want to piggyback on what Bob said. We do not compete with Utah State University. We both have our own distinct roles, and we're partners. You know, and that's how we see it. And we share a lot of programs back and forth. And so we really do appreciate our relationship we have with Utah State University. I just think for a community our size, what a wonderful opportunity it is to have the educational opportunities we have here between the Applied Technology College and also having Utah State University here. So
well said, well said. And we've seen that here from my perspective, just the outsider. A great partnership between these two institutions. In fact, the buildings across from Uintah High School.
Just right there, both in Roosevelt and Vernal. You know, both of them are right.
And at Union, that's right.
Yeah,
it's a very similar
right across
situation.
the road here. It's in the same parking lot. So,
that's right.
So yeah, we have a great relationship, and it's fun to work together.
Is that unique, that type of partnering in the state? Do we see that with other? There are other technology colleges.
We're starting to see more and more of it. Twill is a prime example. You know, we've kind of been the flagship of education in a lot of ways here in the Uintah Basin, and it's because of our local leaders. You know, they've had a vision. They've had a mindset that's went a long ways. They knew exactly what they wanted, and they got it accomplished. We're seeing the same thing in Twilla. Twilla just barely built a brand new Applied Technology College. Well, it's right across the road from Utah State University, and so they followed that model. We're starting to see it happen more and more. It just makes sense to be located closely together. It worked in the Uintah Basin.
We should try it as well.
Yes.
We're really the envy of the state in those respects because I entertained some guests today who are from Salt Lake, and they thought, wow, a high school, technology college, and USU, can they attend all three? I said, yeah, isn't that cool? So others have caught on, but we're the envy of the state.
Very cool. I like that. The envy of the state and the flagship and everything, right? So there are some differences, some fundamental differences between what UBATC does and offers and what USU does, and also Uintah and Union High Schools. What are some of those differences?
The main difference, Chris, that is quite interesting to me, been obviously worked at both institutions now. Utah State definitely dwells on the degree programs, you know, from the associate's degree to the bachelor's degree through the master's degree and on into the doctorate degree program that you can get right here in the basin now, which is amazing. The Applied Technology College really focuses more on the certificate programs, which are usually within a year. You know, a student can go through and get a certificate program, which leads to great jobs. Most of them are more into the applied concept, you know, where they're working with their hands. We have a lot of individuals that come through the high school system that really don't have the desire to go on and maybe get a 4-year degree or even onto a master's degree, but they're really geared and suited towards maybe the welding or petroleum technology or the nursing programs or those types of things where it's more hands-on, more of applied type an education.
Very good. And that was my next question. What are some of those offerings? But you hit that.
Well, you know, in our area, Chris, being an advocate for USU for many years, going over next door to the high school, trying to recruit high school students to USU, it has its place. But I can tell you, UBATC has a great place in those high schools following years as well. And it's probably a little bit more just because of the area we live in. And so, you asked, our expertise is in petroleum, oil companies. We have the nursing programs, we have business programs, we have drafting programs.
Right.
So we have wonderful programs to offer high school students as well as the adult student.
So there are actual needs that are being met even here in our area by UBATC.
You know, that's what's really unique about within the UCAT system, Utah College of Applied Technology. There's 8 campuses throughout the state. What's unique about each one of those campuses is each one of them really focus on the needs of the industry in that particular area. So none of the 8 campuses are going to look alike. If you went to all of the 8 campuses, you're going to see different type of degree or certificate programs at each one of those campuses, because our focus really is looking at what does industry need, and then we apply those certificate programs to that industry to make sure that we don't want to have a student go through a program and then not have them employable. You know, we want to make sure we're meeting that industry need.
And that's very important. I think that there is a need here, so we're better because of UBATC.
Absolutely, you know, and that's a niche that we feel, and we're fortunate to be able to work so closely with our industry partners to fulfill that niche.
Right.
If it was Bob and I sitting around putting the curriculum together, you can imagine how far we'd miss the mark. But as we have our advisory committees, every one of our programs has an advisory committee, which is made up of our industry partners that are working through that curriculum to make sure that this is what we need.
What needs to be offered and what people want out here.
And because of that, we like to boast we have a 95% placement rate. And so as our students complete, that 95% of the time those students are going to get placed in the employment that they've chosen.
That's
so
something to boast about. That's quite a draw for UBATC. All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break and hear from our sponsor. Then we'll be back to hear a little bit more from these two in just a moment.
Strata Networks is proud to bring the first true 4G LTE network to the Uintah Basin. 4G LTE is the most powerful mobile broadband available anywhere in the world. With speeds up to 10 times faster than 3G, you can stay connected like never before. Video chat without delay, stream HD TV or movies in an instant, and download or upload in seconds. For details, visit us in Roosevelt or Vernal or call 622-5007. More speed, more power. 4G LTE, only from Strata Networks.
Welcome back to Local Point. I'm joined by Bob Peterson, Vice President of Student Services, and Dave Woolstenhulme, President of Uintah Basin Applied Technology College. We've been talking a little bit about the partnership that you have with USU and the local high schools here in the basin, and also the important role that you play as part of our local community and particularly industry in this area. I wanted to go back a little bit to some more of the offerings that are available out there.
Yeah,
what can you tell me?
One of the biggest things, Chris, that we deal with here obviously is the oil and gas industry.
Right.
And so we have a lot of programs that are really geared towards what our industry partners in oil and gas is asked for. One of the biggest programs we have, obviously, that ties right into oil and gas is our petroleum technology program, to where, again, it's basically a 9-month program, 900 hours the students go through, and they learn from the very beginning to actually fairly complex concepts about the oil and gas industry, and which has been a very popular program. Another one's the CDL. Are obviously a lot of trucks on the road. You just count how many between here and Salt Lake when you go out, and you soon realize how many trucks are coming out of the
How long does something like that take?
900 hours can be the longest, and then it can be shorter in between there. So there's multiple different types of certificates you can get through the CDL program.
Okay.
Some of them come in for some retraining, but for the full-blown program, it's somewhere around 900 hours.
Is that pretty typical for the programs, or
it varies? It varies. That's our longest program. Is I believe that to be the case now, but we have some shorter programs in there as well. One of the programs that we're really excited about is our nursing program. At the UBATC, we do the LPN program, which is a great program, but what we're really excited about right now, before when our students used to complete the LPN program, they would have to go out of the area, or once in a while would have Weber State come in and complete the RN program. Now, with Utah State taking over CEU, CEU had the RN program, and so now
I see.
USU is able to offer that program right now. So we work very closely with USU, talking again about the
Again, there's
partnerships
that partnership,
and make sure
right.
those two programs mesh really well. So a student can go through the LPN program with us, and then they transition right into the RN program through USU. So the students see it as a seamless program.
And that can be all done right here
That can all
in
be
the
done.
basin.
Yes, it's all done right here. We share faculty, we share
Right.
resources, we share our facilities
Right,
between
right.
the two partnerships, and so that's one that we're very excited
What about things like auto, diesel mechanics, that kind of thing? I always see other trucks over there. It's not just for CDL, but
No, we have two. Speaking of Vernal, we have the two faculty members that work at the high school, Tyler McKee and Mike Peterson. So
Yes.
we have a wood shop, a carpentry program, as well as automotive.
full carpentry then.
And
certificate.
and we also have the diesel mechanics over in our building
Okay.
in Vernal. Roosevelt the same way. We have automotive in our site at UBATC there.
Yes.
So the practical trades and industry programs we're very good at as well. So the students, looking at the students' perspective, they have a wide variety of choices, and we're always building new pathways for the high school students to start their program even in high school, and
Right.
then bridge that gap at UBATC into future occupations.
Yes, I've seen some of the students with completing certain things that enable them to wear something with their cap and gown. Is
Yeah.
that part of
Yeah.
UBATC as well? Starting off on a pathway?
Yeah, one of the things I misspoke, Chris, on the amount of time that it takes to get the CD out. They're 480 hours through that. Some of our other programs are 900 hours. So I want to
Okay.
make very clear to our viewers that it's not going to take you 900 hours to complete the CDL.
The 900 was a
It's-
petroleum.
Correct, and 900 is the
right.
petroleum technology, and I just wanted to make
Technology.
sure we didn't get those two of those
Yeah,
mixed up.
that's good. So let's talk a little bit more about these pathways and getting people into UBATC. Are there opportunities for scholarships or financial aid?
Well, the unique thing about the high school student, they don't pay a dime, and so that's part of the rights that the students have at both USU and UBATC, where the tuition is free. So they can begin the pathway, and we're developing a pathway with the help of you and the school district, and
Right.
hopefully in the future with Duchesne, with students going into a pathway in petroleum. So there's a lot of juniors and seniors that are thinking there's great careers in the petroleum industry, great paying jobs.
Yes.
So if they can get started in high school with minimal cost, no cost, then once they graduate, then pay a very modest fee to continue on and get the certification in a petroleum technology field.
Furthermore, we're keeping these individuals here
Yes.
in the basin instead of watching them all leave.
And there's other pathways in business as well, but like Dave says, we specialize because of the area we're at in the
Right.
petroleum industry.
We're fortunate to have a lot of scholarships available at the Uintah Basin Applied Technology College, not only for the high school students, which
Yes.
as Bob mentioned, they're virtually free, but even for our adults. The majority of our
Great.
adults that go through our programs are scholarshiped in some way. So we would encourage anybody, if they have any desire whatsoever, to check into any of our programs, to come in, sit down with Bob, sit down with some of our other individuals there at the campus and see what's available, because more than likely we would find them some finances to help them through their
do you find
programs.
people sometimes are just wanting to make a change in life and acquire a new skill or switch jobs? Do you find those people coming in?
And I think that's why Dave and I are in the business we're in, because if we get to take the time to spend a few minutes with a student as they're walking through the hall and say,
Right.
how can we help you? And they're frightened. They've been in a career path a certain amount of time and they want to make a change. We find that a lot in nursing, where
Right.
I've decided I want to be a nurse. And that's the fun part, is to be able to say, in the transition for us, especially at UBATC, it's pretty easy.
We can do this.
And we've got all the right people in place to help
Right.
them.
Well, I'm glad to have you both here today. I learned a lot by talking to you two, and I hope that our viewers have as well. We may have to have you back again. We'll talk a little bit more.
Would love to, and if anybody has any questions, please come in and see us.
Is that the best
There's a lot
way
of
for them to
opportunities.
contact? Just stop by, either in Roosevelt or in Vernal. Come right into the building.
Or go on our webpage. They can go into our webpage and get a lot of those questions answered.
Let's throw that out there real quick. What is the
Uintah
website?
Basin, ubatc.edu.
Right. You could probably also do a basic web search.
Yep, you can do a web
Sure.
search, it would come up, but it's just ubatc.edu, and
.edu.
it'll be there. But we'd love to have you come in. We'd love to give you a tour of our facilities. We'd love to be able
Yeah.
to show you what we have. We're fortunate to be able to have the programs we have. So.
And what a
thank
great
you.
duo here at the helm right now. We're proud to have
Well,
both
thank
of
you.
you here.
Thank
and
you.
thanks for coming out to Local
Thanks
Point
for having
today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Well, we thank you for watching today's show. That's all for now. Please join us next time right here on VTV Channel 6.